Good evening. Can I have a show of hands? Is English okay, or does anyone not understand? Does anyone not understand English? Good. Okay, I will do this in English then. I'm just going to do no official welcome. I'm the director of Kulturschiffer. My name is Christopher. I just get the privilege of explaining the COVID rules for this evening. This evening we have drinks, so feel free. We're going to be having some breaks in between the pieces, and during the evening you can feel free to grab a drink. You are allowed to drink without your mask on. We just ask that when you are not drinking that you put the mask up, and during the performance that you keep the mask on as well. We thank you for your understanding. We're trying to keep in cooperation with everything so we can keep doing events like this. So that's the official COVID stuff on my part. I'd like to introduce Yulia, who's one of our interns here, and she will be having the more fun welcoming than what I have. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome everyone. We're so excited for tonight. I don't know how to stand properly to see you all. Well, for those who probably don't know much about Kulturschiffer or about the place we're actually welcoming you in, so we are the non-profit organization that actually values community and diversity and the new ideas of any kind. So we aim to be a really safe place for everyone, for the community to engage with one another, to create the things together, and to actually enjoy each other's company, and to really inspire each other by our actions. I would like to tell you more what actually Kulturschiffer offers. So we really do have the open space. We have the gallery, we have the offices, the shared offices, and we have we actually have lots of events that we create and that we organize, and we see the culture as something that we create all together in a holistic way. One of these events is actually today's concert. Our Ariel, our musician today, she's been actually playing this instrument, Guzheng, for 15 years, for over 15 years. She played in Chinese orchestra and in ensemble, for over 4 years in Hong Kong. And here she's an intern. Let's welcome Ariel. She will actually tell us a bit more about the instrument, Guzheng. And let's just...
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you, Yulia, for introducing the Kulturschiffer and introducing me a little bit. So now I'm going to introduce this instrument. It's called Guzheng. You did a great pronunciation. And it's a string instrument. It has actually very long history in China. And as you can see, it's the contemporary one, which usually have 21 strings, as this one did. But we also have 16 strings, 18 strings, or 23rd strings. That's also possible. And it's very Chinese in a way because it has a very typical 5-tone technique. Because, for example, I can show you a little bit here. This is in D major right now, and you have Do, Re, Mi, So, La. You just don't have Fa and Qi. But the thing is, we can actually produce the sound as well. You have actually the full scale, but actually you need to use your left hand as well. So for today, I actually divide this whole concert into 3 different parts based on different topic and themes that we are going to present. And for the very first piece I choose, it's based on a very, very famous Chinese legend. And it's called Butterfly Lovers, or Liangzhu in Chinese. It's a very beautiful story, which I have put the story itself here, where you can read. And if you already grabbed the program file, which if you don't, you can also grab it there, I think at the entrance. Yeah, you can find Hannah to grab it. So I have the detailed information about every pieces on the program file, and you can read the legend itself here if you want. left hand actually pronounce sounds. But it's very important for this part, which is also a very important characteristic for the traditional Chinese music. And the picture I put here is actually from the Guilin province, Guilin in Jiangxi province in China. And this is actually exactly how I imagine this piece, this song is actually about when I'm playing it. Because this piece is named after a very beautiful Asian poem. It's called Yuzhou Changwan, as it's translated as a fisherman songs at the event, right? And I just feel like this is probably how the Asian people would feel when they compose this song, probably, I don't know. And now the one I'm going to present is about a flower, about the jasmine flower, which is also a very representative flower in our Chinese culture. And the melody itself is also a folk melody. And probably some of you, I think, would hear of this melody because it has adapted by Italian musician Puccini in his opera Toronto for many times. So if you heard of that opera, probably you will recognize this piece. And yeah, now I need to put the nails. Probably you notice like I have this on my right hand but not my left hand. For the first two pieces, I need to put it down. Like for the next one, I would definitely need to have this, which you can tell in a minute why. And yeah, just give me a minute. Yeah, I would also need to change it from D major to G major because as you can see this instrument we only have 21 strings, and if we want to play different pieces, different songs based on different major, we would change here. And the song basically would change afterwards. You can see now it's Do you like the former one? Like, I think like the combination of this one and cello is very special actually, because before that, maybe 10 or 20 years ago, nobody would try this, but now since more and more Chinese people start to learn piano and learn cello, they are trying to find like new ways how can the sound of this instrument to combine with other different type of instrument actually. And the last one I just played is not that difficult and it's not that long, but I really like the way of like how the dialogue happened between the two instruments. Yeah. And the one I'm going to play have a very interesting name, right? Fighting the typhoon. Oh, let's see if I can find the typhoon. this very special time. And like the third part, what in my mind is I call contemporary. What are the new possibilities? Because I trying to find, there are actually many musicians in China trying to find new possibility for this instrument to compose new pieces, to try new ways to cooperate with other instruments, with others. And for me, it's like to play this kind of like pieces. It's like this instrument is actually speaking another language. Like me, I'm from China. I speak Chinese as native language, and now I'm talking to you in English. I'm learning my German. I hope one day I can talk fluent in German. So yeah, it's kind of like the same for this instrument. It has very like traditional aspect. We can play very traditional pieces from this, but I also hope like it can learn more languages to have new possibilities as an instrument, not as a traditional Chinese instrument. Because once you label anything as you label anything basically, or you say this, okay, this is a traditional instrument, and people will just automatically suggest like a song like, well, this is a traditional instrument, and you can only play traditional pieces. I love traditional pieces, of course, but yeah, I really hope this, and I hope like my ideas through this whole concert would deliver to all of you, and I hope you really like this instrument. Actually, yeah, thank you. Really, thanks. Maybe I can try one more, because so far all of the pieces playing is all composed by Chinese composers, and I have recently discovered one, like it's composed by a very like a Japanese composer, and it's for a very famous animation as well, and he actually composed many pieces for the animation. Maybe we can try a little bit. everybody, but I hope at least in these 2 minutes we can go back to summer a little bit. Yeah. So thanks for coming, and I hope you liking this instrument. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ariel.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be able to listen to such beautiful music this evening, especially when the weather outside is not so delightful. It's incredible to be able to be inside here and be able to have this warm atmosphere and be able to be inspired by such beauty. Again, my name is Christopher Elbert. I'm the director and founder of Kulturschiffer. As you already mentioned, we're a nonprofit organization, and as each one of you know, you did not pay for a ticket this evening, right? Isn't that great? However, we are a nonprofit organization, and we do survive off of donations. And so we do have a donation jar here that we just invite you to give what you would like to give for the evening. The evening does not stop here. One thing that's really important to us as an organization is that we wanted to create a space where people don't just come and are able to listen to something, but we want to be a place where people can engage. And so that's why we like having a more intimate atmosphere where actually Ariel can be right here amongst the audience, and we invite you to stay afterwards to actually ask Ariel questions, to come and actually check the instrument out. She's not up on a far distant stage where you're wondering, wow, can I engage with that? But we want to be able to create a space where people can actually come and investigate and explore and be able to be actually in contact and in conversation with Ariel, who is human and enjoys being able to interact with you all as well. Another special privilege that we have this evening, as I mentioned earlier, we do have an exhibit that's going on right across the hallway in our gallery, Green Hill Gallery. We just recently completed an artist residency program in which we have invited 5 artists from 5 different countries, from 5 different mediums, in order to actually create and to develop a show on their own. And one of the artists is actually here.
There's no emotion about the hometown, about like what does hometown, like what will remind us of our hometown. So in this part I choose 2 different pieces. The first one is from the southern part of China, folk melody, not really a folk melody, but also, well, it's described that part of people. And the second piece is from the northern part of China, which is my hometown actually. And as you know, like China is very big, and people from different areas actually have sort of different characteristics. So it will show in the music, like how they reflect on their hometown, how they think of their hometown, how they feel about their hometown. So yeah, this is the piece about In Memory of Jiangnan. I have a little bit introduction in the program feel about what Jiangnan actually means. It's very beautiful, like in my point of view, like it's just have the rivers, lots of rivers, and the building have a very different style of architecture, I would say so. And like it's also, I think throughout the history, this specific area in China has contained some kind of culture or social meaning for the literature. For example, Qing Dynasty or even earlier, they will have lots of great pieces work in this area. So let's see how the music would work. Yeah. so I will need a little bit break. The piece I'm going to present is actually about my hometown, and it will be a little bit longer than the last one. And yeah, it's also adapted from our local opera actually, which I haven't heard of it before I start to learn this piece. So it's quite funny, like I had learned my local opera through these pieces. And it's actually, I played for like, I think 7 or 8 years till now, and every time I play it, I would say I have kind of different emotions or different feelings about these pieces. It's a very special one. Yeah. my home city, Xi'an, is also a very famous tourist city in China today. So these are some pictures that actually my friend took, and I asked him if he can give me some picture of my hometown. But for me, what hometown actually is probably see this picture. Well, if people never been there, would say, "Well, it's pretty, it's historical and very ancient Chinese styles architecture." But for me, when I see this picture, for example, now I'm in Berlin, it's reminds me of not the building itself, but a tiny little shop around the corner of this building that have the best food I have ever had. So it's actually these kind of small, tiny little things that reminds me I actually lived there before, and this city is not only a tourist city for me, but it's my hometown. It's have lots of my memory inside. So yeah, that's why I see the second piece, the second part of this concert as what reminds us of our hometown, because I think hometown is something you need to get out of that place. When you grow up, you live somewhere else, and you will suddenly notice, okay, that place actually means very special to me. So yeah, I hope you like this one. And the second, very last part I would like to show is more contemporary, and I choose two very modern pieces. The first one is special in a way it's composed not only for my instrument, but also for my instrument and cello together. But unfortunately, we don't have a cello here, so I have a accompanying music here, which you will see in a minute. And the second one is this so-called contemporary in a way. It have many new technologies of this ancient instrument. It's kind of broaden its way of present and how the sound of it could be, how we could play it. And yeah, sorry, I got it a little bit rest a little bit. Yeah, I just want to mention for the formal one, the tone of my hometown is actually composed for this and piano, for Guzheng and piano, but we don't have piano here, unfortunately, but I can still present it as a solo. But I think if one day I can cooperate with the piano, the sound would have much a different taste probably, I think. Yeah. I will just turn a little bit.